What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch back here with another NBA recap. This time it's the Houston Rockets taking it over the Cleveland Cavaliers, 117 to 112. The Rockets advance with 45 wins on the season. Cavaliers only 43. The Rockets take it, man, 117 to 112. I was pretty surprised by the outcome. The Rockets were 7-point favorites in this game. But at the same time, this is the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is the reigning champions. And I was surprised that the Rockets would take it, even though the game was in Houston. I'm going to go over the game. I'm going to go over the statistics, the player performances, and all that, and what I really think of these two teams heading forward into the NBA season. We are getting closer to the NBA playoffs, and these two teams are basically fighting it out tonight just to get a test of the waters of what the NBA playoffs is going to be like in 2017. First off, let's start with the statistics. The leaders in this game, James Harden, triple-double in this game, 38 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds. On the opposite side, LeBron James doing his work with 30 points as well. Clint Capella led the team for the Rockets in the rebounds with 11. Tristan Thompson had 8 for the Cavaliers, and Kyrie Irving had 8 assists for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's go through game-by-game performances. Trevor Ariza, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Shot 30% from the field. Wasn't the most effective player offensively, but he is known mostly for his defense, where he collected 6 defensive rebounds, which was a big story in the game. The Rockets were able to out-rebound the Cavaliers more often than not, especially in their comeback in this game. Trevor Ariza was key to that, and definitely key to helping stop the offensive attack of the Cleveland Cavaliers, but this was mostly an offensive game. I was expecting going into it is basically going to be, you have to outscore your opponent, as simple as that, because there's not going to be many defensive stops in this game. As simple as it sounds, it's a lot more difficult to keep scoring and scoring and scoring when you're getting minimal stops. Ryan Anderson, I thought, was really good in this game for the Rockets. He had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 for 11 from field goal range. He was 4 for 7 from 3, and he hit like 3 threes in a row from like the same corner shot. He ranks second in the league with about 52% percentage on that corner 3 on the right, or I guess it would be the left side for him. Man, that guy just hits that corner 3 like it's easy. Ryan Anderson was doing that all game, especially in the second half, with 16 points, like I said, and was huge in instrumenting the comeback for the Houston Rockets. Clint Capella was solid. I mean, he was 4 for 8, made his shots, but he was huge on the boards. He had 11 rebounds, and that was absolutely, huge for the Rockets. Like I said, they needed those boards. And Capella played a decent game. He also had an assist, a steal, a block. So he played a good all-around game for the Rockets. All the Rockets players basically played well. Everybody has to play well and collectively well as a team in order to beat a team like the Cavaliers. Patrick Beverley didn't have his best game shooting-wise. He was 4 for 10, but he actually bounced back in this game compared to some of his other games that he's been having recently. He hasn't been playing the best basketball as of late, but he definitely stepped it up in this game with 13 points. He also had 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. James Harden was the story of the game. This guy might be the MVP. I'm a huge Russell Westbrook guy, and I believe Russell Westbrook is probably going to win the MVP just because of the sheer amount of triple-doubles that the guy has had. But James Harden has led the league in double-doubles. He also had a triple-double in this game. He had 38 points in 39 minutes played, 10 rebounds, 11 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, made 13 for 28, which is 46%. Was 4 for 7 from 3. Absolutely a machine on the offensive side. Played some decent defense. Had, some big steals later in the game. Had some big possessions where he played pretty good defense. I know that Harden is people look at Harden and he's not the greatest defensive player of all time, and that's not what I'm saying. But when it was needed, when it was the fourth quarter, when it was the third quarter, when they were trying to come back against the Cavs in this game. Harden was absolutely key to this victory, especially not only on the offensive side, but also with his two-way game. Really, the great players in the NBA, you don't see too many that are good on both sides. And I'm definitely not saying that Harden is great defensively, but he's definitely picked it up. And I think that's also starting to give him some more momentum in his MVP case, because everybody knows that James Harden's a great shooter. Everybody knows now that James Harden can pass the ball. Everybody knows that he can rebound, but can he defend? And he's gotten a lot better in that area. The number one thing I was surprised about James Harden this season in particular is how well he's been doing in terms of passing. He's very good one-on-one. He can get his own shot. He's great from outside the three-point line, where he's 4 for 7 tonight. But he can also pass the ball and see the open man at an elite level, which is very crucial to Houston's offense. Houston's offense is centered around James Harden's ability to drive. It's centered around his ability to drive, rather get his own bucket or dish to somebody open on the three-point line, like a Ryan Anderson, like a Trevor Ariza, like an Eric Gordon, who can hit that three-point shot outside. So James Harden should be considered one of the biggest MVP cases this year, and he definitely is. I just wanted to put that out there because James Harden is absolutely crucial to the Rockets, and they've been playing really well this season. Eric Gordon, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Got that wrong. 4 for 11, 36%. Wasn't his best game. I've seen better games from Eric Gordon coming off the bench, but he was okay. I mean, he wasn't terrible. He did miss a couple of shots that I expected him to make, open shots that he didn't make. Wasn't his best game overall, but still had 13 points in the game. And what I'm impressed about the Rockets overall, I'm looking at the stat sheet right here. 12 from Ariza, 16 from Anderson, 13 from Beverly, even 8 from Capella, 38 from Harden, 13 from Gordon, 12 from Nene, even 5 from Lou Williams, who's considered to be a scorer off the bench. He only played 15 minutes in this game due to his lack of production in the last couple of games, but I thought there was a couple times in the game where Lou Williams stepped it up. Again, was only 2 for 7 from the field, hit 1 3 in this game, 5 points, but he did have 6 rebounds and 2 assists and a steal, so he did kind of play an all-around game when he was asked to, but he did miss quite a few shots that he's expected to make. So Lou Williams, if they get this guy going, he's going to be, he's going to add another dimension to the team, because we saw how good he was in that first game against New Orleans, that first game with the Rockets. If they get him going, man, this team's going to be really tough to stop because they have so much firepower. They have so many shooters. Even Sam Decker, who's playing like he barely plays anymore, 5 minutes in this game, he didn't basically register anything. He only took 1 shot, but even that guy can shoot. So you have Sam Decker, Lou Williams, Eric Gordon, James Harden, Patrick Beverly, Ryan Anderson, Trevor Ariza. All these guys can make threes and all these guys can shoot, which I love about Houston's offense. Sure, they don't have the big guy that can grind inside. You might say Nene is decent at that, but they don't have that guy. But even without that guy, I thought that they played the style that the Cavs were trying to play, and they outplayed them. The Cavs were trying to play a small lineup, and the Rockets simply outshot the Cavs. It would be very interesting to see the Rockets play the Cavs in the NBA Finals. Even though I still think the Warriors are the favorite to get through, the Rockets would give the Cavs a lot of issues because they're so good offensively. I think the Cavs would have to play LeBron and Kyrie a lot more together because they didn't play very much together in this game, I thought. Like, a lot of times, LeBron would be off, Kyrie would be off. They both played basically, LeBron played 40 minutes, Kyrie played 37, so maybe I'm incorrect on that fact, but it just seemed like they didn't have all their big-time players out at the same time. They were missing Kevin Love, which is huge, but at the very same time, I mean, this is a team that is stacked, and they should be able to go into Houston and compete, and they did. But they could have easily won this game. I think Cleveland at the end of this game is probably kicking themselves for not winning it, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter too much. You know what I mean? LeBron, 30 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. Typical LeBron stat line, 60% from field goal. I mean, the guy is the best in the game probably still. He was 4 for 11 from 3. He didn't have his best game though. He was okay. I mean, he didn't have like the triple or double that LeBron is usually expected to, but he did have 30 points. He did have a good game overall. He was steady on the defensive end. I just thought that Harden really outshined him. That's all really, like, most times nobody outshines LeBron, but in this game, Harden did, and LeBron looked like the second best player, or maybe even the third best player on the court, because I really thought Kyrie Irving was great in this game. He's so good at making his own shot. He's so good with the ball. It's so wonderful and so amazing to watch. His ball handles, 28 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 blocks, 10 for 23, 43.5 field goal percentage, 3 from 10 from 3. He wasn't very good from 3 tonight. He took a couple forced shots, which I thought weren't there, and he shouldn't have taken them. But man, Kyrie is so great to watch. He's one of my favorite players, and him and LeBron basically carried the team tonight. I thought another guy that had a great game in this one was Richard Jefferson. He had 16 points, 6 for 6, 100%. He was on fire. He should have shot the ball more because he was 4 for 4 from 3. And there was a point in time where I think he hit like 3 in a row, like every possession. And LeBron was getting him open. But once they got in the fourth quarter, Houston seemed to clamp on Jefferson and not let him shoot those threes. Or LeBron and Kyrie just didn't pass him the ball. But I thought that Houston's defense in the fourth quarter really was solid. They made the Cleveland shoot from 3 a lot. They forced them to shoot from the outside. They weren't letting anything inside, which I thought was very good. Houston seemed like the more desperate team, which I think definitely came into play. Tristan Thompson was okay. He was 4 for 4 again, 8 points, 8 rebounds, assists. But again, didn't stick out like Tristan Thompson sometimes does with his defensive and offensive ability inside. And that's really, you need a Tristan Thompson against a team like the Rockets that doesn't have many big guys to step up and perform. But he didn't really do that in this game. He didn't dominate. Shumpert was okay, 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Nothing special as well. He shot pretty poorly. He was 2 for 9 from the field. Darren Williams, I think, kind of continues to disappoint. I guess we expect this from an older Darren Williams, but I think LeBron, when he asked to get this guy or get a playmaker, was asking for a bit more off the bench. But Darren Williams has been nothing but like a depth piece on the team so far. He hasn't really helped the team in any of the games that I've seen win. He shot 2 for 6, which is nothing special. 8 points, 5 rebounds. He did have 5 assists and was creating plays with the ball and passing to other shooters. So that was a positive point. But overall, I thought the Rockets outperformed them offensively, shooting-wise, and defensively as well. And on the boards, I just thought the Rockets were the better team tonight, especially late in the game. Cleveland was up at a couple times by like 10 to 12 points, but the Rockets always seem to surge and come back. And the thing about the Rockets is they're never out of a game because they're so good at shooting, and D'Antoni sets them up with a play or two. Bam, they're back within 6 points, and you never know from there. The Rockets, I think, are a dangerous team going in the Western Conference because I think that they're going to be difficult out because of how good they are at shooting. And no matter how iffy their defense is, I know that the league and everything stiffens up in the playoffs, and I'm not picking them to win in the playoffs straight outright or win the championship or even win the Western Conference, but I think they're going to be a tough out just because of how effective and how hot they get when they're shooting on fire and in rhythm. And with a guy like James Harden who can create with the ball and without the ball, it's a very dangerous team. If they get Lou Williams to really get going on that second unit, then you have that another guy like Harden who can pass the ball, who can shoot the ball, and can get hot just like that. So I like the Rockets going forward. I still think the Cavs are probably the favorite to win the championship, given that they have Kevin Love back and all those guys. I think they are the favorite. But the Rockets take this one 117 to 112 on March the 12th, 2017. Hope you guys enjoyed this recap. If you did, Gronk, spike that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new and you're an NBA fan. I'll have more NBA recaps just like this one and NBA playoff stuff coming very soon. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Peace out.